Hey everyone, it's Becca. First of all, thanks so much for the response for my first video. I didn't realize how widely you'd want to share it, but it's a really good thing. So moving forward, I've decided to put these videos in a more accessible space. So because I don't know all of you directly through Facebook, and Facebook is probably not the best way to connect with you, I will put them in a dedicated YouTube channel here, okay? So moving forward, you can access these videos whenever you want to through that YouTube channel. All right, so today I'm super excited because I have some questions from Liam. Liam has 4 questions for me and I'm excited to get to them. Okay, so Liam asks, he has 4 questions, so this is number 1. All right, number 1, most scientists use potions. Why don't you? I love this question. So Liam, the scientists who use potions use them primarily when they work in a laboratory. And for me, since I study the sun, if I wanted to do work in a laboratory, I'd have to go to the sun and set up a laboratory. But the sun is too hot and that's too dangerous for me to do. So I can't personally go to the sun and run physical experiments on the sun. So instead, what we do, instead of mixing up potions and instead of doing experiments in a laboratory, we send satellites up into space so that we can get a little bit closer to the sun. Okay, it's easier to send satellites to space than it is to send humans to space. And so that's generally what we do. We have satellites that are orbiting the Earth that look at the sun. And we also now have satellites that are orbiting the sun and they look at the sun. Okay, so from those satellites, I'm able to get information and they send that information down using a signal. And in order to understand that signal, I have to write some computer codes in order to understand what that signal means. So I guess for my job, instead of using potions, we use computer codes to do our experiments. Okay? So question number 2, why isn't Pluto a planet? Oh, the eternal question. Why isn't Pluto a planet? So there is a group called the International Astronomical Union, or the IAU for short. And they are the people who decide what gets to be a planet and what doesn't get to be a planet. So to be a planet, you have to satisfy a number of requirements. You have to have an orbit around a star that is in the shape of an ellipse, which is kind of like an oval shape. It's not quite a circle, but it's a stretched out circle orbit. And Pluto does, so that's okay. You have to be heavy enough to hold your own shape into a ball shape. And Pluto does. Pluto has a nice ball shape. But third, you have to have enough gravity such that your orbit is clear of any other large thing. And basically what that means is that you can't cross orbits with anything else. And the problem is Pluto does cross orbits with Neptune, okay? And its orbit is a little bit tilted compared to the rest of the planets. And so back in, 2007, I think it was 2007 or 2008, the International Astronomical Union said, well, Pluto doesn't really meet the requirements to be a planet. So we're going to downgrade it to dwarf planet. Okay. All right. It's a little bit sad, but here's the thing. We didn't know at that time that there are other dwarf planets in our solar system. So it's not just the main 8 planets and then Pluto. It's the main 8 planets, Pluto, and other things that look like Pluto, and even some that are a little bit bigger than Pluto. Okay, so our solar system in the middle starts with the sun, and then we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and then a belt of asteroids. Okay, and then Jupiter and more asteroids in Jupiter's orbit, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and then Pluto, and then we have something called the Kuiper Belt. And the Kuiper Belt is full of asteroids, it's full of dwarf planets, and it's full of lots of things we probably haven't even discovered yet. And then outside of the Kuiper Belt, we have what's called the Oort cloud. And the Oort cloud contains more asteroids, probably more dwarf planets, and comet nuclei. So when comets are not close to the sun, they're basically just a chunk of rock and ice. And it isn't until they get close enough to the sun that their tails develop. Okay, so outside we have all of these comets. So our solar system is actually a lot bigger than just Pluto's orbit. Okay, alrighty. Question 3 says, what is the coolest thing about your job? Okay, there are so many cool things about my job. First of all, that I just love it and I get to do what I love to do, which is very cool, and I feel really lucky to do that. I think just studying the universe is cool in and of itself. But another thing that I really like about my job is that I get to travel a lot. And travel is something that is really important to me. I really like to go and explore new places and new things. And because I'm traveling as a scientist, sometimes I get to go to places that regularly people aren't allowed to go. I can go down to radars in South America and observatories on the tops of mountains, and I get to drill ice cores in glaciers and all of these cool things, and learn from a lot of different people. So that's my favorite thing. It's about my job is that it's really global and it's really cooperative, and I get to make lots of friends from all around the world. Okay, and Liam's last question is, what do you need to be good at in school to become your job? Oh, Liam, this is such a good question, and it's really important if you're interested in becoming a scientist. So the things that I needed to be good at to do astronomy, or the study of space, the most important thing I would say is to be good at math, okay? I mean, of course, you should be doing well in your science classes, and more than that, you should just really enjoy your science classes. But the thing that's the most important for my job is to be good at math and to be good at computer science, okay? Because most of astronomy, because like we said in the first question, we can't really physically go up into space all the time to do these physical experiments, the things that we're studying. We have to do our experiments inside of a computer. And that means that you need to know how to write that kind of computer code. And it also means that we need to know how to solve the problems analytically with math equations, okay? So if you're interested in becoming a scientist, I would definitely check out whether or not you like math and whether or not you like computer science, because those are two things that you're really going to need to do in order to do something like what I do, okay? All right, so Liam, thank you so much for these questions. If any of you guys have any other questions, I would be really, really happy to answer them. Feel free to drop a comment or send an email. All the information will be down in the description. And I will see you next video. All right?